and welcome back to another episode of Dying with Diabetes in America. I, of course, am Michelle, your host. I have a really great guest on tonight. Met her through the Dead Pancreas Society, and so I'm excited to have her on. Can't wait until I put this on my computer. Okay, so hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. This is my This is my guest, viewers, Haley Quijano. I said it right before this.
Yeah, you got it right. Yeah.
Quijano. I asked her in the beginning if it was Keanu, like, the hot, sexy Reeves. It wasn't, but that's okay, because I used to call him Quijano back in the day before I got the whole Keanu. So Haley, we met in DPS, and for those that do not know, because it can sound like a lot of dirty things, it's Dead Pancreas Society, which in its own is dirty. That's fine. But where are you coming to us from?
I'm coming from Washington State.
Ooh, you're on the whole other end of America.
Yep.
Totally. So I mean, it's 5. Well, I had my dinner. Hopefully, I didn't interrupt yours. But,
Oh no, I haven't done it yet.
I'm really glad to have you on. I've read a lot about you. I see that you're a farmer.
Yeah, I have chickens and quail and pheasants and all that, but
very cool.
It's a hobby.
I mean, hey, if it's fun. My mother-in-law actually has quail farm. She's got a couple of cows, a couple of horses, and some quail. So, all right. So, Groovy, you take care of the birds. Very awesome. And I also heard that aside from being an amazing wife from the pictures and videos that you've posted online, we are also adding another job description to your title. You want to let everyone know what that is?
Sure. I just found out I'm probably about 4 weeks pregnant, 5 weeks, somewhere around there.
Yay! Congratulations! But that is great. I mean, it really, really is. I excited, nervous.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, and that's normal. It totally is. It's funny. We've been chatting on the side and talking about your blood sugar numbers. And I saw your last one that you're getting the hang of it and everything like that. That's awesome. So it's a big change, though.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, like I said, my first semester I was covered in these spots. I looked like a leper who had the plague. I was just like, what in the hell is happening to me? And then the morning sickness, and that sucked. But then you're gonna get to that great stage where they move. And that's super fun. I imagine it would be the happy scene on Aliens if they weren't worried about something coming out of the chest. That's the way I saw it. Like, you lay back and you'll realize you lay back at a certain angle and you can just watch the baby just do little somersaults and everything. And then they'll kick you in the rib and it's great. It's good times. So that's really, really exciting. So we met and everything over diabetes, and you are type 1 yourself, right?
Correct. So I was originally diagnosed right after my 21st birthday.
Okay.
Literally like a month after. So could drink and everything, and then all of a sudden, oh, by the way, you had diabetes.
Well, I mean, I would say at least it would make some diet sodas taste a little bit better. I think if more alcohol was added to it, but yeah,
right?
I'm not digging that. So, okay. Bummer. Was there anything that gave it away? Were you having? Because I mean, I'm sure that you've read the symptoms and everything that we've all been like, why can't I stop peeing all the time?
There was definitely that. But I am overweight, but I was severely overweight then. Probably about, not much heavier, maybe 15 pounds. That sounds bad. Need to go on a diet.
That's COVID weight. Whatever. Right? I am holding till it's COVID weight.
Yeah, and I was very heavy and just not healthy. And so then they diagnosed me right then. They're like, "Oh, you have blood sugars." I think when they did my labs, it was at only 280.
Okay, all right.
So
I mean,
not high,
not bad. Not
on our scale high.
Right. Like a normal person, they've crapped themselves.
So they're like, "Oh yeah, you're type 2." But
I was gonna add that was gonna be my next question just
yeah.
because right. So I was going to say, like, did you get misdiagnosed at
Mhm.
first because of your age and everything? And I think that's so super crappy.
Oh, well, they wanted to put me on a bunch of medication, like metformin and stuff,
Oh, that's
and
never good.
right, and I was like, this is, like, brand new, I'm 21, let me just see
Mhm.
if I can change my diet and just exercise and see if I can just do it on my own before I add extra things,
Right, before you go through the pills and you read the 4 pages of, like, side effects and
right?
you're like, "What the hell? Does it make anything fall off? I'm waiting for it to
Right?
say this'll fall off." So, yeah,
Yeah,
I get that. So, you tried the diet and exercise as medically advised to you by
yeah,
professionals.
and I actually my when I got diagnosed, my A1C was this 9.6, but
Okay.
so it's not
Still not that
terrible here.
bad, though.
No,
I mean, honestly. Oof.
but within 3 months of changing my diet and exercising, I dropped it down to 6.2.
Oh,
Like, yeah, that
wow.
was only in 3 months. So I did fantastic. I did the keto
Mhm.
diet. I was like, "Oh, this is great. I got this,"
Mhm.
kind of thing. So I was like, "I'm not gonna let diabetes stop my life."
Right.
Um, yeah,
I
so
got this. He doesn't
right?
got me.
Yeah,
I got
exactly. I'm like, I'm not gonna let it dictate what I wanna do in my life because I was 21. It's like,
yeah.
you know what? I'm not gonna lie down. So I did all that.
It's understandable. I mean, how long did that work out for you? Or
So,
did you feel better or did you feel the
yeah,
fluctuations?
in the end, within a year, or it was a year and a half, I think, I lost 60 pounds.
Mhm.
And so I was only like 158 pounds, so pretty tiny.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember those days.
right? I'm
So
definitely not fat
long
now.
ago.
Yeah, so I was feeling great. My doctor was very happy with me. She's like,
yeah.
"You're rocking it." My A1C was great. My blood
Mm.
sugars at the most were 140, like just by eating
Wow.
keto.
Nice. I mean
And
that's nice.
yeah, so I stopped really worrying about it. Like I would check it every so often, but it was always under 140. Like I didn't really have to worry about it. I was
All
like, okay,
right.
it's not controlling my life.
And then what
Yeah.
happened when the hammer came
So
down?
it was, I had started a new job. And so I was stressing out because I wasn't getting it. I was frustrated because my brain was
Mhm.
just not functioning.
Mhm.
And so this was a year and a half after my original diagnosis.
So
And
I mean, okay. So you're
yeah,
stressing out, new job.
yeah, and like I wasn't feeling great, and like I was on my cycle for over a month. I was like,
Ooh.
this is weird. And then all of a sudden, I was out of breath by walking up a hill, which I hadn't been even out of breath going up the steep stairs when I was 60 pounds heavier.
So all of a sudden, like instantly short of
Yeah,
breath and things like
yeah.
that.
Well,
Oh,
I went to 300, and that like all of a sudden I couldn't get down from 300. Stayed at 300, nothing. And no matter what I did, and I was like, well, if I eat well, I still am at 300. So why do I care?
I'm gonna eat the cake if I'm
Yeah,
gonna have these
exactly. Like
numbers.
if nothing's
Yeah,
gonna help, then why even
yeah.
try?
Then there's no point.
Yeah. So, but I was always at 300. It didn't change from that point. It always stayed at 300, but it was always at 300.
Huh.
And then I finally, after like, I was like, this is concerning now. Like,
Hmm.
this is weird.
Yeah,
So,
it's been a little bit too long,
yeah,
and I know those highs do
right.
not.
And I'm like,
They burn.
well, and then it's just like I couldn't think, and
Hmm.
my new boss, was all like, "You need to get this," and I was like, "I'm trying. I'm not
Yeah.
usually this struggling. I'm not usually this like struggling at this kind of stuff." It was an office
Yeah.
job,
Oh my God. Yes.
but
So
yeah. So
many
I
years in office jobs.
yeah, and I finally went to the doctor, and my of course my doctor was on vacation.
Doesn't it always? It always
Yeah,
happens
right,
like during a holiday or
right,
a long weekend, and then they're not the ones that are there or on
yeah,
call or at the hospital.
right,
I love my doctor, but I'm like, dude, if I call you, I want you.
right,
I don't want some guy that you had lunch with once that you were like, yeah, no, totally.
right,
It,
right.
duh.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you get to see this new doctor. And what does this new doctor tell you?
As soon as I get in there to check my blood sugar, it's at 300, around 320, something like that. and the blood pressure and everything else. They're like, you need to go to the ER now. You're in ketoacidosis. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like,
really?
yeah,
Like
I was in
they,
ketoacidosis. Yeah, at that point.
were you nauseous or?
Yeah, a little bit, but
Um,
like I don't know, because I was so foggy from everything, and then I
yeah,
thought I was just stressed from a new job that I was struggling in.
yeah. So I
But
mean,
yeah,
that
they wouldn't even let me drive to the hospital that was like 15
no,
minutes away.
no, they did not charge. Oh, you had to pay the
No,
$1,500 cab ride.
my sister took me.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Yeah, they're like, you cannot drive there. You have to be picked up or go in an ambulance. And I was like, I'm completely fine. Like it's a 15-minute drive. They're like,
No,
no, you can't.
they wanted you to have the $1,500
Yeah.
ambulance ride. That, yeah, no,
Well, and my
that's
dad's a paramedic too, so
oh, oh, so you were like, listen, I got this. See, my
yeah,
husband was a paramedic.
yeah,
And anytime that I had a problem and everything, because I have my daughter, she's 12.
yeah,
And anytime that like the doctors would start talking to me about things, and I'm like, yeah, no, it's fine, it's fine. If I go home and something goes wrong, my husband will just
right,
do an IV in me. We'll be fine. Don't
yeah,
worry.
right. I
It was
got
good
this.
times. It was totally good times. So, okay, so right away they knew ketoacidosis, take your little behind 15
Right.
minutes to the hospital. And then, I mean, from then, did you get the blood tests that confirmed the
Well,
type 1?
it was kind of interesting how they
Mhm.
were like, this is so weird. Like your numbers are low for going into ketoacidosis, but you're obviously going into it.
Yeah.
And so I was in the ER for 3 days, and they did like heart scans and everything. Like they couldn't figure it out. Finally, my
Hmm.
nurse was like, "You're." She was checking here, see if it was swollen, and then it turns
Hmm.
out the glands on my armpits were swollen. I had freaking
Really?
mono.
What?
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah. Like, and I'm like, I don't even know how I got mono, but yeah. And so
It was
it
back in the day, everybody sharing drinks
right,
and whatnot.
literally, I only like kiss my husband. That's it. um,
Smack him for
yeah.
sharing drinks with his people.
But yeah, so they're like, yeah, you have mono, and that's what actually kicked my everything into ketoacidosis. That kicked my pancreas out of functioning. Like that was the final broke
Wow.
the back kind of thing.
So you were on like a little mountain of calamity,
Yeah,
and then mono was just like landslide.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, that
Well, and it didn't
sucks.
help with the keto either because if I had known I was type 1, I would have been a little bit more cautious on it.
But
But
I
I was
mean,
like,
you were doing like the keto diet. I mean,
yeah.
you were
Well, I added
living.
fruit in it because I found that I
Mhm.
function better with having some fruit.
Right. Oh, I love
So that was
fruit.
it.
That's you can't take fruit away from me. But I mean, it's also it's one of those things. You were living like the lifestyle that our type 1 endocrinologist would kill for their
Yeah.
patients to do. So I mean, you were hitting all the things that you needed to
That's
do, and
probably what helped my pancreas stay longer because I was
that's
a year and a half of honeymoon phase.
that's beautiful. I had
Yeah,
2 weeks.
really.
I knew I the only reason I knew was because I woke up one morning and I opened my eyes and I'm like, holy shit, I can see. And I mean, I don't know if you can tell or if I'm just really good at hiding angles, but I got like Mr. Magoo
Yeah.
glasses. So it's one of those things that like I woke up, I opened my eyes and I was 16 at the time and I'm like, oh, I can see everything. Oh my God. And it was I think 2 weeks. And then yeah, I woke up and I'm like, I'm blind again.
Oh gosh.
Fun
Right.
times.
Well, at
So,
the when they did the mono thing and they figured it out, so they were like, "Okay, we got this figured out now." They're like,
mhm.
"Actually, we don't think you're type 2. We think you're type 1.5." I was like, "What do you mean 1.5?"
Oh my god. I was so and just and this is only my opinion, of course,
Yeah.
but I was so mad when they came out with the type 1.5,
Yeah.
and then they changed it to the LADA, the latent unset adults, blah 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 blah
Just
blah.
type 1, just late
It's
onset.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
like, why do we need? It's type 1. It
It's
doesn't
already
matter.
confusing enough.
Yeah, doesn't matter when you got it. If we don't give you insulin, will you die? Yes. Okay, type 1.
Yeah,
There we
right?
go. It kills me. All the different all the different things other than gestational, and that
Yeah.
just sucks for them. My best friend was had
Yeah, a
gestational
friend that does that.
diabetes.
Mhm.
You feel bad for them, and at the same time you think, then yours is gonna stop.
Oh, I have a friend that hers actually she became type 1 after it.
No, that sucks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, she's on an insulin
oh,
pump and everything.
oh, poor girl.
Yeah, so
See, at least so you have like 4 years under your belt right now for the
yeah,
babies.
about. Mhm.
Awesome.
It'll be 5 in August. So,
Very cool. Very cool. So I mean, when the pictures that you've shown me of your graphs or what have you, they're not crazy bad. I mean, you're doing really really well with somebody who hasn't had. Mine is drinking age. Mine's 21 years with it, so it's like it sucks.
right.
But I mean, you've got to feel. I would think that you would feel good because it seems like you've got such a great handle on it, and technology is at least a little bit farther
Yeah.
along now.
Well, and I did definitely I've gone through many like downs, like having the burnout and stuff. Like
Yeah,
right after I was diagnosed with type 1, I was like I worked so hard not to be on medication and things like that, and now I have to, and it just
yeah,
felt so defeating.
I can
And
understand that.
yeah, so I worked at it, and then I was like, I can't do this. Like it's
Mhm.
everything against me. It's against what everything I wanted for myself.
Yeah,
And yeah, I think of my A1C, I just got crazy in life and stuff, and I finally got it up to like the highest I've seen it is like 11.
yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to some people the highest. I mean, they've 14%, things like that, and it's hard because
yeah,
it's not it's a estimate of the time.
yeah,
That's all it is.
yeah,
It's not like you have to be running 400 every day. You get a few bad days in there, and you're
an
just like,
average. Hmm. Oh, I
it's
know.
not gonna
Believe me,
help.
I know. These last 2 weeks has sucked my A1C to be past a 7. I got it down to
Oh,
6.8, and then now this last 2 weeks it's like, oh, we're just gonna red hide. Now
yeah,
you got it past a 7.
just and your doctor looks at you and you're like, "What?"
Hormones.
Exactly.
Leave me alone.
Exactly. I mean, and it's going to be rough, as you know, stress and what have you is a huge contributor
Mhm.
to just the fluctuations that we have. It's such crap. And no amount of stupid working out or whatever can calm some things down.
Yeah.
It just can't. So that's always going to be, unfortunately, a hard thing to deal with.
Mhm.
And I'm so sorry because you have the next few months of just not loving it. But like I said, I mean, you've gone through putting yourself through the strict eating. And I think for me, that's one thing I wish I had done. And I still don't even do it now, is I don't do the low carb eating. I should do the low carb
Yeah.
eating. Like, and I know I should do the low carb eating. I'm having a kale smoothie every morning trying to make up for it. But I mean, I'm trying. It's just, I love bread so much. I mean, it's the best thing ever.
Honestly, the last couple days has like carbs has made me kind of sick.
Yeah.
So I've actually been eating kind of keto because
Okay.
that's the only thing that like I'm okay with.
Hey, no,
I'm like,
that's
okay,
gonna
that's
be
fine. I guess if it forces me,
if it works out for you, then
right?
totally.
Yeah, I'm
When
like,
I was
oh, I guess that's
when I
one way to go back to keto.
That's funny. I stopped eating red meat for the longest time. I just stopped eating red meat. And then I got pregnant. And I looked at my husband one day and I was like, I need a steak. And he's like, "Oh, yes, 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 yes." And yeah, once I was pregnant, I was like, I need the red meat. And so I had
Probably,
to have red meat and
yeah.
everything. But I couldn't have Chinese food. Chinese
Oh,
food killed me and the smell killed me and it was awful and revolting.
so I found one thing that makes me nauseous with smell now. The first
Yeah.
thing, I work at a feed store, and down the bucket aisle, there's these rubber like flexible buckets that smell like tires that are really
Yeah.
strong. Oh, they're so much stronger now, and I'm like,
Oh
can't walk down that aisle.
no.
Someone else can go do
No.
that.
Oh, so other than you still getting that fatigue rolling through you?
Not as bad. I think
Good.
I'm kind of figuring it out now, but it's been so nice. Like I've had this past year, I've had such the hardest time falling asleep and staying asleep.
Mhm.
It's been so nice. I fall asleep like that.
That's
And I'm just
beautiful.
like, I just had to get knocked up. That's how I fix my sleeping problems.
That's how you cure insomnia. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. We're not doctors. But yeah, like totally. It's one of those things that yeah, getting to sleep was amazing. The one thing that sucked, I had a memory foam bed, but my husband
Mm.
had it for a while, so it was like a
Oh, like
dippy
so, yeah.
one, right? And so the bigger I got, the more I felt like a turtle on its back. And I'd have to wake him up and I'd smack him and I'd go, Josh, roll me. He'd have to roll me over. It
Oh
was
god.
so bad. Then we upgraded to a sleep number bed after I gave birth, and it was like, woohoo! I'll just up the number and it pushes you up. It's beautiful. I love it. I was gonna make a joke about Air Jordans, but I'm like, you don't remember Pump It Up because you weren't alive back then.
I know what you're talking about, but yeah.
You and Danny, him coming in all, ooh, look at me. I'm in my early 30s. To both of you. So I mean, okay. So 4.5, almost 5 years of dealing with this BS. What is your biggest gripe?
Probably like doctors, like just I find a lot where there's a lot of judgment in it, and like when
Yes.
your chart says diabetic, instantly lectures come out. There's not really listening to you; they're listening to just your disease,
Yes.
and that's frustrating because I don't want to be a number. I want to be a person,
Yeah,
and
exactly. It's not a textbook thing. I
no, it
mean,
absolutely is not.
you, me, and Danny could all eat the exact same thing for morning, noon,
Yeah,
and night, and all our numbers would be different.
our
It's
numbers would be different day to day if you did the
exactly,
same thing. Like it's not even like
exactly.
you could always have this either.
But it's just one of those, they don't see it, and they don't
No.
see it because the textbooks don't say it. The textbooks don't have that side of, and emotionally, mental health wise,
Yeah,
everything you can think of also affects it. Somebody cut you
yeah,
off in traffic, I might shoot up to 200 just because I'm
right.
pissed off. Like,
Back might be hurting. Oh, here
yeah,
goes high blood sugar.
I know, I
You're like, I'm already
know.
dealing with back pain.
Just so earlier this week, or last week, God, my daughter came into contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID.
Mhm.
And my husband laughed at me because you could watch my number go straight, straight, straight. And then he called me and told me that. And it was like,
It's crazy how much dictates blood sugar.
it really is. I mean, down to, even if you're not stressed or you're not upset,
Mhm.
if you have a small infection somewhere, it's going to shoot your
Yeah,
blood sugar through the roof. It's like, that's why when I'm talking to Danny or one of my other friends and they're like, my sugar's so high, it won't come down. I'm like, is everything okay? Do you have any infections?
right,
Because this could just be your diabetes going, hey, things are going to suck for a while.
right.
No problem. That's me during Shark Attack week.
I
During my
know.
Shark Attack week, I've got to go up an extra like 2 units on all my ratios. Otherwise, it screws me up.
Oh yeah, I have like my pump is set to a higher drip rate, like half
Yep.
more, and that's what I'm on right now because I haven't dialed it in yet for the pregnancy. So I'm on
And
that profile right now.
yeah, and I mean, I think I had, because I was on the pump when I was pregnant. I was on Omnipod, which I
Mhm.
loved. But in my PDM and everything, I probably had 4 or 5 different temporary
Yeah,
basals that I would switch on, or
yeah.
temporary, insulin to
You have
carb
to.
that I
That's the
switch
only
on.
way that you actually catch up with it.
Exactly. And then I do screenshot or I take a picture with my camera so I could remember. So this way
Yeah.
I could be like, oh, well, 2 weeks ago it was this, and now F me, it's this. It was good times, you know? So I mean, so you've got to be excited. I mean, you're getting into it. You're gonna have this little alien in your stomach, and it's gonna be amazing. So I mean, how do you feel? Like one of my worries was delivering. For me
Yeah.
personally, I was worried about my blood sugar going low during
Yeah.
it, and I'm like, I don't want that. I'm like, but I don't want it high either, and just me being a bitch during the total thing. So, like, have you and the hubby talked anything out? Oh, and by the way, all of our viewers that are Dead Pancreas Society, you have to this way. You have to check out her reveal video to her husband. So cute. So cute. So, I mean, but have you guys like talked about, what you're thinking of or what have you? Are you gonna leave the pump on during, well, they won't let you. I don't know. You have to check with your hospital
Yeah.
because my hospital didn't let me didn't
So dumb.
leave my Omnipod on me. And again, it's for their insurance, really,
Yeah.
when you go down to it. Because if your pump starts leaking insulin to you and they're doing something else and it causes crap, I get
I would
it.
give it to my husband, put it in his hand, and be like, "Here, you're in charge of this. You know what to do."
Exactly. Let somebody know if shit goes sideways. But
Right?
otherwise,
Yeah,
I
that's why, like,
never.
I had my husband do all the training and stuff with me, so then he knows
That's
what
good.
happened.
That's good. And I mean, that was going to also bring me to, support wise. So, I mean, your husband, it had to be a big change for everybody. I mean, you were younger. I don't know if you were married then.
We were dating at the time.
Okay.
We've had we have known each other since we were 16, so we met in high school.
Oh, that's so
Um,
sweet.
yeah, so we were dating at the time, and so he's seen my high points and my low points, and he's been there for each one of them, and I haven't
That's
scared him away.
awesome.
So
He hasn't gone running for the hills. He's a
right?
keeper.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's always been really supportive, and like when I was in the ER, like he fell asleep in the chair, like at the ER.
That's great.
Yeah, so he's always been really good about it, and he's not very like an emotional person, as you can tell from
Mhm.
the reveal video.
It was really cute. Okay, but my husband's also an introvert, so
Yeah,
he
yeah.
would have done the same thing. And I mean, it was still really adorable.
Well, and then everybody's like has asked me like, "Oh, where's his reaction?" I was like, "That's his reaction."
Yeah. Oh, whoa,
Right,
whoa! I should have thrown up confetti, but
right.
no. I mean, I told my husband I drove up to the fire station that he was at, and I was like, "Hey, can you just come outside?" And it was like a half-hour drive, so he's like, "You're here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here." And I end up, and I'm like, "I'm pregnant." He's but his is big
Yeah,
hug,
right.
awesome, and just it's good. I can be extroverted enough for both of us,
I think
so.
it's the perfect like crazy and like calm.
Very, very yin and yang.
Right.
Very, very yin and yang. I mean, my husband and I have known each other, oh God, since we were 18.
Yeah.
Ever. Forever. So yeah, he's seeing the best of the beaties, the worst of the beaties, and everything in between. And then me in there as well, too.
Right.
But like, you I'm not the reason that I happened to collapse in a public place one time from low blood sugar. My beaties was. So
Yeah. Right.
it's that bitch's fault. It's good to have that support. And
Hmm.
I mean, so you said you had reached out to your biological family and everything. And I mean, did you know about the beaties then?
Um, I've only reached out in the last like 4 months.
Okay, all right.
So I wasn't really planning to. Like my family's great,
Oh
and
yeah, totally.
I never had any reason to, and they
Hmm.
always supported. But I've always known I was adopted,
Right.
um, because they've been very open about that, and they've been like, if you do ever want to, we will help you, kind of thing.
That's amazing.
So they've been really great about it. But like, I was like, you know what? I'm married. I'm considering having kids,
Hmm.
and I know that I have type 1. I don't know if it's genetic. I don't know if there's other underlying things that I don't know about yet because
Right.
it's kind of thrown a curveball. Um,
Exactly.
so I kind of like, I didn't really want to deal with the drama, but I was like, I think I need to know just for future. Um,
I think that it's a very brave thing. I mean, putting yourself out there. I think it's great that your family is so down with it. They don't. I mean, that just shows what great parents
yeah.
they sound like they are.
Well, my mom
Is
had actually kept tabs on them ever since, like
oh
this whole
yeah,
time, to make sure that it was easy for me.
that's awesome.
So, and my little sister's adopted too. We're not related at all, but so we have
That's
adopted.
really amazing of your parents. I mean,
Yeah,
I've looked into we've talked about adopting because for me it was a one and done
yeah,
pregnancy. Like I started having crazy seizures, so be very careful of the
yeah,
lows because there was a couple of times the ambulance had to come out and bring
yeah.
me
I
to the
think yesterday I
hospital.
hit like 53.
Ooh, that's
Yeah,
never a
which
fun number.
well, and I don't actually feel lows until I hit about 56.
That's that's also just from speaking from the decades old experience that I have. Be careful because I have hypoglycemic unawareness. So I could be 20
Yeah,
sitting here not sweating,
yeah,
not disoriented, just sitting here talking to you and just being
right,
and my insurance, and I will not say their names, suck at the things that they cover. They
yeah,
don't cover what I need. They cover like what I can scrape out of them.
right.
But the laughing from the Dexcom question still haunts my dreams when they were like, I'm sorry, you want a what? No, not at all. So try, and of course, try to do this, try to do that, blah,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. Hypoglycemic unawareness blows.
Yes.
That's when I started
Mhm.
having the seizures, and it was just awful and not something that you ever want to deal with.
Right.
So, yeah, and that was after I had the kid.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I will say that going through, I had a C-section. It was planned out, but her head was like between my ribs. She was not coming down at
Oh
all on
gosh.
her own. Yeah, she was like, "No, I'm fine. I'm
It's warm
here."
in
Ha
here.
ha ha. Yeah.
Right.
So I wasn't all that bad. I was happy about that because you hear so many horror stories about like, oh, you're diabetic. It's gonna be awful. And
I
no,
know, right?
mine didn't suck any more than my friend sucked, and she wasn't a diabetic. So I was just like, yeah, no, we're cool. Have you might have some staples if you go the C-section way. If you go the other way, I have no experience with that. I,
I've
forever.
seen both of my little sister has 3 kids, and I've seen 2 of the births, so.
You are a brave woman. No, no. My weirdo husband kept looking over the sheet though they put down in front of you, and he's like, "Oh, it's all really pink." Like, shut up! I don't need to know what you can see. But of course, he was a firefighter paramedic, so he had to go to
Yeah,
so many things on his clinicals: vaginal births and C sections. So I'm like, whatever. I don't
right?
care. So what kind of pump are you rocking now?
I'm doing the T-Slim, the Tandem
Nice.
T-Slim.
That seems to be a favorite among a lot of my
Yeah, I really
guests.
like it. I haven't done another pump before, so I have nothing to reference it on, but it seems to be really helpful to me.
Well,
Um,
like that's good, and that's what it really comes down to. I mean, so everybody has their favorites,
yeah,
and as just as much as we are diehard, everything else of our favorites with diabetes, pumps are no different.
right.
And I mean, my first pump was okay. Here's a 10 liter pen. So my first pump was that big.
Oh gosh.
Yep, and it was that thick. So yeah, it was just about that thick. It was some bullshit. It was huge. And they give you like 4 feet of tubing everywhere. it's bananas. So that wasn't fun at all. I like the way they look now.
Right.
The last one I was on was the Omnipod, and then I stopped that. But that was a nice one for me. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's so bulky," and I'm like, "No." I wore it under my wedding dress, and that was form fitting, and nobody knew. It was great. And I wore it when I was pregnant because you could put it all over the place, and I didn't.
Right.
I'm clumsy.
Oh, me too.
So I caught the tubing on
Oh, yeah,
everything.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's not a fun time.
I usually put the stuff on my arms because I find it's easier, and also I have better absorption on my arms. But
Cool.
I'm pretty muscular on the arms, so I think that might be it as well. But like around like my belly area, there's some
Yeah.
scarring through the years that
Yes.
it's just there's every time I'll take a break for a while and then I'll do it like a belly again. Like I did it recently, and I just have like no good absorption there.
That sucks. I mean, I didn't have great absorption in my stomach either because, of course, that is where you start out doing it, where you kind of you just kind of get stuck in that area. And
Yeah.
then they were like, you could do your legs, and that really hurt and caused bruises. So I was like,
Yeah.
no.
I have
So
like little blood marks all over my couple pairs of jeans.
yes! Oh my god, yes! It was stupid. It was stupid.
And
So
then
it
you
was
get to the point too, like I just
Mhm.
started doing it through my jeans and I'm like, I don't have time for this.
I
Like I know you're
know.
not supposed to. I was like,
No.
I have more things to worry about.
They don't make jeans like they used to. It's fine. They're so flimsy anyway. Bam.
Yeah.
Heck
I don't have
yeah.
time for this.
Oh my god. I started using my arms after I went through the whole transplant process.
Yeah.
And while I was weaning myself off insulin, then I was using the back of my arms, and that was an amazing and liberating experience. It was like, wait a minute, this doesn't hurt at all.
Right.
And I got great absorption too. I do not have muscular arms. I do not have muscular arms at all.
I had
But I mean, maybe if I know you push it up the other way, but
I have
not
I have
muscular.
a thick layer of fat on those arms, but I do have muscular arms.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's one of those things I never. And then I see people doing the forearms all the time, but that
Oh, I
scares
can't do the
me.
forearms.
That scares
I put
me.
the Dexcom once. I've done it
Uh-huh.
twice on the forearms because I
Uh-huh.
was like, okay, I need another spot. It's
Uh-huh.
painful for me. I think it's because I have a lot of muscle there that it rolls.
Oh,
And I
see,
can't do it. I
I
try
don't
every
have
single
any
time I do it.
muscle
I'm like,
there.
should not have
But
done that.
but my layer of fat is a lot less there too, so I don't know if I trust it.
Yeah,
Ugh. No, I don't. I've been, and I mean, Danny loves his legs to do his
I
stuff
just
in.
did legs last time.
How do you feel about that?
Um, it's for my sight, for my pump,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I'm liking it. But I'm finding that like when you use the bathroom and stuff, your underwear, whatever,
Yep.
like hooks on. I was like, I don't like this.
There were unforeseen circumstances to
Yeah,
this. Oh my god. Yeah, that used to I remember even clipping it to my belt and having the site in my stomach, and
yeah,
you'd go to pee and you just
yeah,
ah.
yeah. Or like you're walking around like today. Even I had a clip on my belt and it unclipped and went, and I was like, oh.
Yes. Oh my god. I've done a couple of these episodes and we've talked about what kind of bullshit is it that they give you just enough tubing, but not enough that it hits the ground, just enough that it swings. And it's like, what kind of crap is that?
Technically, it's a good thing it doesn't hit the ground,
I mean, it is, but I would rather get an otter box for it than just have it
they should
swing.
make otter boxes for it.
Oh, they
There we go.
should.
You
Otter
should tell Lifeproof and
box.
OtterBox, be like, hey,
You all are missing out
right,
on the money that you could be making here,
right.
because hell yes. Oh my god, to make a waterproof one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we might have an invention on our hands.
Right.
Oh, Danny's gonna be so jelly.
So I going back to the whole arm thing.
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
there was one
I'm
time.
writing it down. Sorry,
You're good.
OtterBox waterproof.
Um,
Yes,
but
but
I
go ahead.
there was one time when I was still in injections. And I just didn't think about it, and I went and just did the front of my arm. Like, I was just like, okay, whatever, I gotta keep going kind of thing. I hit a nerve, and it
Huh.
twitched, and it like, and like I felt it go all the way down my arm. I was like, that was not the right place.
No, 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 no,
It was
no,
painful and
no.
it felt weird. I was like, mm-mm.
Oh, I
I'm like, well, I'm not gonna take it out yet because insulin's going in me. I don't want to waste it.
I gotta still push the blood
Yeah,
sugar. Oh God, no, 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 no,
and it was
no,
like
no,
a
no,
huge
no.
amount of units too because I'd been high and I was eating a really carby meal, so I'm just like waiting. And I
Oh.
always had to wait like 30 seconds rather than the 15 because
Hmm.
otherwise I would still get drips. And I was like,
Yes.
I'm not wasting this.
So I'm not gonna lie. In the past 21 years of being a diabetic, I've only learned this in, say, the past 5. I don't do more than at most 8 units in one spot. If I'm with injections, obviously not with the pump, with injections. So yes, it may mean I have to stick myself like 2 or 3
Which, how much time
times.
we stick ourselves, it doesn't really matter at
Exactly.
this point. Like, we're used to
But
it.
I noticed that the absorption is so much
Makes
better.
sense. Because then you're not creating a pocket for it to slowly release.
Exactly. And then I don't know about you, but I imagine that pocket when my blood sugar just keeps going up, and I
Yeah.
poke at the spot then because I'm
Right.
just like,
Like,
let it out, let it out. Speaking of which, let's see what this bananas crap. Oh, it was so mad at me earlier. Hi, I hate you too. So anyhow, but I mean, in little things, I was talking to a gal who's only had it for a few months. My last episode, Jordan, and that poor girl. I was telling her, she's like, sometimes it really hurts when I inject, and I
mm-hmm.
gave her the thing, and I was like, it just, I always thought the more times I stab myself, the worst. But really, it's that lump that the insulin can leave that would hurt the
Yeah.
worst.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, all right, max I'll do is 8. And if I have to do, like I said, 2 or 3, depending on what I'm eating,
Right.
then I will take those extra 6.
Or
That's how
how
bad
much
I
my
want
control sucks, like, kind of thing.
it.
It's a I don't give a crap day.
Exactly. It's a my daughter wanted s'mores day. Oh, you just wait. You just wait until those big eyes look up at you and they're like, "Mommy, don't you want to have an ice cream with me?" And you yes, I had to look at your blood sugar. God, yes, I do. I'm gonna have one with you, and it'll be
Like,
the best ice cream,
debating the
of course,
consequences.
ever. Exactly. Like, yes, mommy is gonna have to do something for the next hour and a half to lower it, but
Right.
I'll have it with you. That was my daughter a couple nights ago. It was s'mores. And we don't normally have s'mores here because I live in Florida. And why the hell would you have a fire
Right.
when you live in the state that sits on hell? So I was just like, but my husband had come home, and I love him so much. My husband had come home and brought stuff for s'mores. And so she's like, "Do you want to have a s'more?" Yes, yes, I do. I paid for that for like 2
Oh
hours.
god.
Oh, so painful. But good times and all that jazz. So I
Right?
mean, you've been rocking a good A1C overall. I
Yeah.
mean, other than the burnout times, which is totally normal. I don't really know a
Yeah.
diabetic that hasn't had
Mhm.
their own slew of crazy A1Cs that you just kind of end up with. But I mean, so it sounds like you've got everything pretty rocking. Have you noticed any problems or complications?
So my eyes have been through the years like getting worse, but I still only have my prescription right now in my right eye is I can't see things far away, so it's a negative.
Okay. Mhm.
And it's
So
only
you're
like
near no, you're farsighted.
0.75. Yeah.
Wait, it's what?
It's only like 0.75
It's
and
you can't see the middle finger that I'm giving you right now.
well, and then the other one is just a 1. So it's very low, but that little tiny bit affects me so much.
Mhm.
It's crazy though. Like, I literally fought with doctors try to tell them, like, I need glasses. And they're like, no, it's so low. I was like, literally, I can't see. Like, just give me glasses. I know it's low.
I think it's also, and I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not an eye doctor, but I think it's harder to prove that you're farsighted than nearsighted. Because, I mean, when you're like here going, I can't read that.
Yeah.
PQW, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah. And they're like, oh, okay, you're blind. But I mean, they're not so worried about distance. And I remember when I got my glasses that when I put them on, my mom was driving home because I was at a very, very young age. I was just like, holy crap, I can see everything.
Right.
Like, I didn't know that sign was for orange juice. Now I do. I mean, you get really excited though.
Yeah.
So, yes, you're puny, puny eye correction needing
Yeah. It's
person.
very tiny. But it's probably more now because I know, like, that's what the prescription was a year ago. But I
Yeah.
think it's already increased just
It
slightly.
it
But
sucks, and I mean, I hope that it doesn't get any worse. I don't know about you. I see the posts of the people that are getting the shots in their eyes and
yeah,
things
I'm like,
like that. Scares the hell out of me.
yeah.
Like, are you kidding? So every time I go to the eye doctor, I'm like, you gotta do that deep picture thing where you see all my vessels, and I want to see it and make sure it's all good because it's. And I don't know if your doctors have told you yet. Of course, being pregnant, you've got to be careful because
Yeah.
the pressure in your eyes and what have you. They scared me a lot with it.
I know, I hate that's the other thing about doctors is they give you, like, scare tactics. It's like,
Yes.
I know. Like, I live with
Yes.
it. Like, I know.
Like
You
they
think I'm
think
not trying?
if I don't say you're going to die a fiery death, then you're not going to pay attention to
I know,
anything
right?
I say. And it's like, no, we already got the fiery death in the background. Don't
Right?
worry about that.
Stop
Let's
reminding us, we
just
know.
exactly. Let's just talk about other fun
Let's talk about the
things.
solution, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And they're just like, the amputation could be in your
Oh, I
future.
know, all that, all the time.
Oh
Just
my
like,
God.
I know. I
I
know,
have
I heard it.
I have to say I have what I feel is the coolest endocrinologist right now.
Yeah.
It has taken me 21 years to find him. Well, less now because I've had him for a few years. So it's taken me like 18 years, 17 years, 17 years to find him.
Pick a number.
Exactly, 17 years to find him. But I've been through so many crappy ones.
Yeah. I've gone through 6 in the last 5 years, so
Wow. And okay, yeah. When I moved down to this part of Florida, I went through about 5 real quick. And the last one, I just left the office, and on my way out to the checkout girl, I was like, I'll be requesting my file to be moved. Thanks.
my worst was I was trying to get a pump, and my
Mm.
previous endocrinologist was like, "Yeah, we're gonna get you a pump," kind of thing. Well, then
Yeah.
he had to leave, and so I didn't have him anymore. This next
Hmm.
guy, we are talking, and he's like, "You take too much insulin, you can't have a pump." I was like,
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I know,
It's like you have 2 feet. You don't need to walk.
right? Yeah.
Okay, well, wow, that's a certain kind of
I
special.
think he
Like,
just I think he just wanted to see me and be gone, kind of like in and out kind of thing. And
yeah, and the pump requires a lot more one on
yeah.
one, and they actually have to do something, and
But
not
that
just.
is how I started going on diabetes groups. 'Cause I didn't wasn't on any at the time.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
I have to say, when I first joined Face Group, I wasn't in any. I mean, when I first joined Face Group, that was when you were like, what, 2? I kid. No, but I mean, it took a lot for me to, and then to like, I joined a bunch of them, and it was all this crap on people being really crappy to each other,
Yeah.
and I'm like, no, no, it's the old joke. We deal with enough pricks already.
Yeah.
You don't
Right.
have to be one too, buddy.
Right.
But I mean, there's a lot of, I think, defensiveness,
Mhm.
and that I think is found in the groups is everybody's scared that somebody's going to turn around and tell them to like eat cinnamon or something.
Right. Yeah.
It's
Well, that's kind of like what we dealt with.
Yeah, and it's weird to be in an area where you don't get that kind of ignorance or what have
Mhm.
you, where you just
Absolutely.
get people going, "Yeah, it was a shite day."
Right?
I
Being
mean,
real. Yeah.
yeah, and I like that. I I I appreciate all the groups I'm in, but for Danny's, I appreciate that the most.
Oh,
Is
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
very there are people that get their panties in twists,
And then it gets knocked
and
down quickly
yeah, exactly. And
in very fun ways.
it's just one of those things that I think it's taking the social media aspect of it and making it feel more like a family
Yeah, yeah,
than some of the
absolutely.
other groups. And it's nice to have that after having so
It's not
much.
just informational,
Mhm.
it's like you're with them, like,
Yes,
you're dealing with these things, so let's support each other kinda thing, but not in, like, a wishy-washy
exactly.
way.
Yeah, no, it's not like a, "Oh, thoughts and prayers, thoughts
Yeah,
and
right?
prayers."
It's like,
It's,
this
"I'm gonna
crap
check
sucks.
up on you."
Right?
Yeah, it's like, I wanna know, "Okay, you told me that your sugars were 400 or whatever. I'm gonna give you a call or a message in
Yeah.
an hour and just be like, 'Hey,
How you
still
doing?
alive?'"
Right?
Like, what is the BD's guru telling you now? I
Right?
mean, it's nice, and that's why really I started this channel was
Yeah.
because there wasn't there are some great diabetics on YouTube. Name one off the top of my head, Diabetic Danica, and she goes through a lot of applications and things like that of different pumps that she's worn, and for me that helped me watch somebody do it, and I felt more comfortable doing
Mhm.
it. So I started off going into YouTube, and then when I went into YouTube and I saw what they had, I started going onto Facebook and seeing, okay, well, who else likes this person or blah blah blah, and getting onto more support groups. And I might not love social media 110% of the
Yeah.
time, but I appreciate it for this because
Mm.
without this, I wouldn't be around anybody,
No, and
any other diabetics.
I know, like, for me, I wouldn't have as much, like, not as struggling so much with my diabetes because I for the longest time, I've only really, like, been pretty good with my diabetes the last, like, year, honestly.
Hey,
But
congratulations.
it's it's only because I was doing it all alone. And, like,
Mhm.
even because, like, my family didn't have diabetes, nobody had it in my family.
And they don't understand, they can't understand
Yeah,
you. They want to. You
right.
know that they love you and
When
they
I was
want to.
21, so I was out of my parents' house. I wasn't under
Right.
my parents anymore, so they weren't
Right.
really involved with anything. So
Mhm.
it was a struggle I did alone. And so it's like sometimes I like, oh, it would have been nice to be like diagnosed as a kid, even though there is other repercussions of that. But
It's a screwed this way on this one hand,
yeah,
screwed this way on
yeah,
this other
exactly.
hand. I can understand it.
Yeah,
I totally understand your point. Diagnosed at 16, I wish that I had grown up learning
rather
this.
than
That
being pulled out of it. Yeah,
right. And and then of course, yeah, we can look at people that were diagnosed as young and see all their complications
yeah,
because maybe their parents before the knowledge was really out there,
exactly.
they would still be calling us type 2 diabetics, not
Right,
type 1. I mean, that alone,
right,
and just trying to get that through somebody's head, and they're like, "Juvenile." It's like, yes, and amazingly, those people get older.
right.
I mean, I
They don't
know
stay kids.
you wanna think of us as the lost boys, but that's pretty much because everybody before 1922 died as a kid.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
we get older.
Right.
But that is what it is. So I like to wrap everything up with basically, and again, you're going to have to, we've had some very funny answers about this. The most ridiculous way you've ever heard that your diabetes can be cured.
Mm,
Now, I'll tell you some things we've heard. Cinnamon, of
yeah,
course. Okra water,
yeah, I've heard that.
pumpkin seeds. You have to stop having sex with demons in your dreams.
Gosh.
You might have alien DNA. And on the other side of it, something to cure your diabetes right off the bat. Oh, God. And I have to bring it up in every episode I do, even though it's the most disgusting thing ever. Swallowing. Yeah. So my last gal that was on, love her, Jordan, but you could hear her fiance in the back laughing. And her fiance was saying, well, that doesn't help us because they're lesbians. And I was like, oh my God, yes, no. Like, shit, if that did work, I would have been cured a whole lot of years ago. But aside from that, what is the craziest thing you've heard to either cure your diabetes or something you can stop doing to stop your diabetes? Like I said, having sex with demons, it rates up there.
I was going to say, I haven't really had anything else other than what you've said. I did have a coworker recently tell me, if you would eat better and exercise, you would be healthier.
Like, you just look at them and you're like, yeah, if everybody ate better and they exercised, we would all be healthier.
And I had a working pancreas, that would be helpful too.
However, still 5% of my pancreas is a fucking loser.
Right?
And I do get really mad. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be sore about this all my life. And it's only 5% of your pancreas that screws up.
Yeah.
I appreciate the other 95% of you. But
you can figure out your 5%,
5%. Come on,
right?
What kind of?
Yeah.
Well, Haley, it has been great having you on. Again, viewers, Dead Pancreas Society, check out. She does show. Is it every Thursday?
Oh,
it's a hit or miss right now, but you're pregnant. So, you all, she's growing an eyeball right now. So you all can wait. It's called In the Trenches, though. Mm-hmm. And it explains, or it doesn't explain, but it talks about a lot of the different things that we all go through emotionally and mentally and all kinds of. So it's definitely something you should check out if you're on Dead Pancreas Society. If you're not, I don't know why the hell you're not. And go check it out. Haley, again, it's been great having you on. We'll get to chit chat more. And I want to keep getting updates because I like them. I like seeing that you're doing really well. And you are. I did an interview with Leslie Gordon. And I have everybody's name during their interviews on my YouTube channel. You should check it out because I did hers when she was pregnant. And she just had her daughter Paige, and she keeps posting the cutie little baby picture. And squeeze. Which I will react to your baby pictures as much as the same because babies are adorable. So that's the new news. And Haley, I'll chat with you later.